Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, ringsidenews.com. Thank you all for watching this video. Got a lot of your questions to cover from twitter.com/AaronRift with the hashtag PAIV. So let's get started today. First one comes from Boogeyman79. Do you think Sasha Banks and Charlotte's Hell in the Cell match will have blood? Interesting question. I do not think that WWE will purposely have blood in any of the Hell in the Cell matches. Now, will there be hard-way blood? Will Charlotte and Sasha Banks do the same thing that Brock Lesnar's been doing in terms of busting people open the hard way? Never say never. After all, Charlotte is the daughter of Ric Flair, and they might try to do a hard-way spot. I could see that happening. Maybe there'll be accidental blood, even though the cage really doesn't play a role in people bleeding or whatever. But I would not rule it out. I think if Charlotte really wanted blood in that match, she would do everything possible to have blood in that match and follow in the footsteps of her father, since her dad had all those crazy blood spots during cage matches and just matches in general. Charlotte might want to do the same thing. I think both Charlotte and Sasha are going to want to make history with this match, and they're already making history with it being the first women's Hell in the Cell match, but I could see them wanting to go all out and make this the biggest match possible and the most memorable match possible. So we'll see. I would definitely not rule it out. Got this one here from Sean T. Flick. If there's going to be traditional Survivor Series matches, the card will suffer without any titles being on the line. And he's asking me a question about this. Will the card suffer if there's no world title match? To be fair, it doesn't really matter in this era. If this was the era of $50 pay-per-views, then it would be a mistake to not have a title match on the pay-per-view. But you have to look back. When Survivor Series first started, there were no WWE title matches. It was all the traditional Survivor Series matches, and it wasn't, I believe, until '91 with Hogan and Undertaker that was the actual first WWE title defense at a Survivor Series pay-per-view. Now it doesn't really matter. WWE can put whatever they want on the card, and let's face it, the traditional elimination matches is what Survivor Series is all about. So I'm perfectly fine with there not being title matches. I like something different happening. I like the fact that there are no titles on the line and you're changing things up. So I think it's cool that they're doing this idea, and it's one of the few times where you get to see Raw versus Smackdown. I would have liked a little bit more time to pass before doing Raw versus Smackdown matches, but for Survivor Series, you do it once a year. I say go for it. Do the Raw versus Smackdown matches, and I love it. Do the women's matches, or women's match, excuse me. Do the men's match, and then do the tag team match. Sounds like a good card to me. This one comes from Hot Rod 276. With WWE denying Paige's parents' claims, do you see her coming back to WWE? If I was in Las Vegas and I was putting money down on it, I would say no. Paige will not be back in WWE. We have seen the last of her in a WWE ring for now. I think that based off of her reaction going on Twitter and then this TMZ interview she did with Del Rio talking about how she's under contract, so she'll be back someday, but the way she said it sounded like she's just going through the motions at this point and would probably rather not be in WWE and do other things with her life. It just seems like, based off of everything that's going on, she's not going to be brought back once she's recovered from her surgery. She's got to have the surgery, and then she's going to be out of action for another 6 months plus. It's looking unlikely that we will see her back in a WWE ring once she is healed up. Anything can happen, but based off of history and how she's been reacting to things, I think it's a long shot that she ends up back on WWE television. This one comes from Joshua Anderson. Am I the only one who wants WWE to bring back War Games or at least something similar? I would love to see War Games come back. It was a unique concept in WCW, the 2 rings, the double cage. I thought that it was something unique and something that WCW could do that was different from WWE, but we have not seen WWE bring it back, and I think the biggest reason is, well, I think there are 2 reasons. Number 1 is it's a WCW creation. We know Vince doesn't like to do things that he did not come up with. And the other thing is, with 2 rings, that takes up more of the area at ringside, and that's less money you're able to generate in ticket sales. And WWE is about a business, and if a match stipulation is going to cost them money, they're just not going to bother. I think that's the whole idea. WWE might use that as the reason. Maybe part of it is how Vince feels, but yeah. The fact that they haven't brought it back up to this point makes me think it's unlikely, unless Triple H one day gains total control and he decides he wants to be old school and he wants it to come back. I think as long as Vince is in charge, we're not going to see the War Games in WWE. Got this one here from Tomas Jameson. Who, in your opinion, is the best wrestler in the world right now, in or out of WWE? AJ Styles. Easy answer. This has been AJ's year. He came in at the Royal Rumble, and I think he exceeded everyone's expectations, maybe even the most diehard AJ Styles fans. He really excelled in WWE, and I expected him to do well, but to do this well, this quickly, here we are in October. He's the WWE champion. He's beaten John Cena 3 times now on pay-per-view. He's had one of the best first years of anybody in WWE history, and you know, when the NoDQ.com Year-End Awards take place in December, I think AJ Styles is going to easily win Superstar of the Year. I would be shocked. In my opinion, nobody's really close to him in terms of his accomplishments and just his performances night in and night out. And even his promo work has improved greatly in WWE. So he has really turned into one of WWE's biggest attractions in a very short period of time. And people had faith in him that he would be able to become a big name in WWE, but to become this big, this quickly is an amazing accomplishment and just really is a testament to AJ's ability and how good he really is. Got this one here from Mr. Yuck. Is SmackDown seemingly a better program due to being 2 hours or better writing, action, and storylines? I think it has to do with the 2 hours. I mean, it's one less hour that the writers have to come up with for a television show. And also, I do feel that SmackDown has been a faster-paced show, and some might argue a better roster. Just SmackDown has everything going for it right now. And yeah, 2 hours, in my opinion, is the perfect length. And I think with Raw, you know, being 3 hours and just sticking to the same formula, it does feel like SmackDown's a little bit different of a formula, and they're trying some different things, and we're seeing some comedy on SmackDown. Lots of cool things on SmackDown, like the James Ellsworth angle with AJ Styles, which I thought was one of the best WWE storylines, best segments on a WWE show in a very long time. I loved it. I thought it was tremendous. I've loved the stuff with Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. SmackDown's just been on a roll, so I think it's for all the reasons that SmackDown has really excelled with this brand split. This one comes from SGTV. Wasn't Curt Hawkins supposed to compete in his first match at SmackDown? Yeah, he was, but I guess they did not have the time for his segment. They ran short, so his segment got bumped, which is bad for him because he went on the pay-per-view and said he's going to appear at SmackDown, and then he doesn't appear on SmackDown. So basically, his character is seen as a lower card joke. Not that it wasn't before, but now even more so. I do not have much confidence in this character going far. You know, if they were going to take him seriously and do something with him, he should have had a match on the pay-per-view and get him established as a big star right off the bat. Instead, they're delaying his debut. They're doing the Eva Marie thing with him, which is just going to make him come off as a joke. So, in my opinion, it's not looking good for Curt Hawkins. I know I say Hawkins like Stephen Hawking, so I apologize for that. It's Hawkins. Got it. This one comes from Brett. So a wrestler cannot touch the ref, but it's free game for the ref to attack the wrestler. It's just part of the comedy, and this storyline was that the babyface GM Daniel Bryan was sticking it to AJ Styles and screwing over AJ. It's like we see all these matches where the babyface gets screwed over by the heel, and this time the roles are reversed and the heel gets a taste of his own medicine. He's the one that gets screwed over, which is why I love this segment so much. AJ has been cheating at all the pay-per-views and getting unfair advantages, and now Daniel Bryan decides to screw with AJ and make Dean Ambrose the referee for the match with James Ellsworth, and AJ had brought out Ellsworth to fight him, so, you know, AJ was getting his comeuppance, basically, and I loved it. Like I said, I thought it was one of the best WWE segments, one of the most entertaining segments WWE has done in a very long time, so I thought it was great. I loved it, and, you know, I'm not going to criticize it because I was highly entertained by it. Got this one here from American Psycho Wolf. Should WWE be concerned about the Chris Benoit movie going forward, considering the tragedy will cause a massive media poop storm? Do not use profanity because I do not want to get in trouble with YouTube, so nice try there. I think that it's unlikely the Chris Benoit movie will have any negative effect on WWE. WWE has cleaned up their image. You know, they've been PG for the longest time. They're doing all these charities, Be a Star, Susan G. Komen, the stuff with Connor the Crusher. WWE has a pretty good reputation right now, and WWE has the wellness policy, which they've been taking seriously. They've suspended some of their biggest names, including Roman Reigns. So what else can the company do? The Chris Benoit stuff, you know, might get some media outlets wanting to talk trash about wrestling, but in the end, I doubt it's going to hurt WWE in any way. So I would be surprised if WWE was all that concerned about the Benoit movie. I think that they're just going to move along and do their thing and not worry about it. Got this one here from Dan. How would you feel about Samoa Joe making his main brand debut at the Royal Rumble and winning it? I would rather see Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. I've talked about this in recent videos, build him up. And I like how some people are saying, why Joe? Joe's too old, whatever. Tell me a better guy. If you have a better idea for somebody to beat Brock Lesnar, and somebody said, why should Joe beat Brock Lesnar? What's the point? The point is to give somebody the rub from Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar ended the streak. He's been on this rampage. WWE's paying him millions of dollars, and you should use Lesnar to help elevate somebody else and have a new star. And forget about Joe's age. AJ Styles is almost 40, and he's the biggest star in the company right now. Samoa Joe can be one of the top stars in the company. He's a badass. People take him seriously. If you disagree with that, go ahead in the YouTube comments and name off somebody who you think has more credibility than Samoa Joe, who you see as a badass, who you think should beat Brock Lesnar and get the big rub. I'm interested in your feedback. So if you have a better idea, let me know. But yeah, I would like to see Joe versus Lesnar. Joe winning the Royal Rumble, that would mean that he would go for the WWE title, and I just think he's better off going against Lesnar. You know, Samoa Joe has that reputation of being a tough guy, and I think he would work very well with Lesnar. That's what I would like to see at least. That'll wrap it up for this edition of No DQ&A Video. Thanks as always for watching. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it on social media. Tell a friend about No DQ&A Video. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the very latest regarding Paige, Alberto Del Rio, all their drama, as well as the upcoming Hell in the Cell pay-per-view and Survivor Series, which we got coming up now. NoDQ.com has all the latest details, videos, polls, you name it. NoDQ.com has it. We'll see you guys next time for more.